And we are live. Hello, hello, and welcome everyone. I hope you're doing good. It's Friday, so I hope you had a nice, lovely week. I hope it was productive. I hope you are in good health. Thank you for joining me today. I miss you, and I hope you miss me too. Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right. As always, it's a pleasure to have you. And this is a day I was excited to share with you what I have, what I released recently, to answer your questions, and as always, to work together And as always, if you have any Unreal Engine question, any archviz question, ask me. I will do my best to answer. If I cannot answer, I will write it down so we can answer it in the next live stream. So I just want to confirm if you can hear me well. Let me know in the chat you can hear me well. Let me know where you are watching from. And I'm gonna wait for 1 minute to just read the chat to make sure we are live with no problems, and then we can get started. Until then, I hope you're staying hydrated, staying healthy. Let's drink some water, some coffee, and yeah, that's interesting. Usually there is a lower bar, but it's not showing. That's fine. Sarah Van Pormel Elman, hello, hello. I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you for the confirmation, Sarah. And it's nice to see you, Elman. Tamil Nadu. It's a pleasure to have you, Sarah. Hello, hello. All right. So that's good. That's good. And what I want to show you, so if you remember in our last live stream, we ended the stream with creating a simple setup. This map, if you remember, we copy the project, we paste it in an empty map, and we place some lights. And the reason for that was we wanted to create a main menu. So, thank you, Bao. David, it's a pleasure to have you. Hello, hello. Okay. And you might ask, a main menu for what? And it's a main menu for AEC Interactive, an Unreal Engine template that I have been working on for the past 13, 14 months. After so much learning, teaching, feedback, and building this with my students and with my clients, I'm excited to share with you that the template version 1.0 now is live. You can get it on our academy or on Fab if you want. And my goal from this template is to create something for us, people who work in visualizing unbuilt architecture, whether you are an archviz artist, you're an architect, you're someone in real estate, in construction, someone who works with architecture or infrastructure, and you want to bring your projects to life, to allow people to interact with your projects with ease without spending weeks or months setting up the interactive part of your projects. My goal is to have a template where you can simply import your projects, spend an afternoon at max, and your project is good for interactivity. From exploring from multiple points of view, to having teleportation, to add mini-maps, to have points of interest, to take pictures, and so on. So we will explore what this template can do together. And if you want also to download the demo is also can be downloaded from the Academy. So I'm going to paste a link for you in the chat if you want to learn more about the template and if you want to download the demo. And Miguel, it's a pleasure to have you from Colombia. Cheers, Miguel. Miguel, I believe you are one of my students, yes? It's nice to see you, man. Okay. So when you download the demo, perhaps we can... Let me see if I can find the demo. This is the project you download. We can open it later. And in terms of a demo, let me see where I saved it on my PC, or if we can just play with the Unreal project. Let's do the Unreal project, and you can download the demo. It's the exact same. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make this large screen, and let's press on Alt-P to play. Now the first thing you can set up is a main menu, and a main menu is where you have your project, a nice sequence around your project, and a couple of buttons, a gallery of the project, or let's say a presentation of your company, then the controls to learn how to navigate the project, an about panel, and of course the ability to exit and load the project. So when we load the project like so, you can press on T to bring the taskbar, and you can switch between multiple view modes and multiple options we have. So the first thing we developed last year was the ability to have, or this year actually, to have multiple view modes. So we have the first person view mode, the third person view mode, and this was a meta-human, but I removed it because we cannot put it on Fab, it's too large. But this can be retargeted to a meta-human. You may remember that from past streams. We have the drone mode, where we can fly around, and we also have a top-down mode where you can orbit around a building or a specific point of interest. So these are the main modes we have, and each mode have its own settings for speed, for the camera distance, and so on. Now, once you set up the modes, you can set points of interest or teleportation points around your project. So we have this nice panel, and this panel is dynamic and scalable, so you don't need to do anything manual. You simply place actors in the project, and these actors they will appear basically in the list, and when you click on any of these, it will teleport you. So I will show you how everything works in detail as we progress. So this live stream is for anyone who wants to learn about how to set up the project, if you don't want for any reason to watch the videos we have on the Academy. So I will show you what I'm talking about in a second. So we have the teleportation points. Let's say I want to teleport to the corner, we can do that. And if I want to move this around, you can also do that. Now, real quick, I want to show you what I have here, because today and maybe tomorrow, but today is the last day of the Cyber Week. We had an offer, the launch offer going on for the whole week. And it was supposed to end on Monday, but I didn't want to end it until I do a live stream where I walk you through everything together. So here's the live stream today, and here's everything we're doing together. So if you want to learn how everything was made from scratch, if you are interested in learning Blueprint, we have something for you. It's the Unreal Engine course. Let me open that link for you. You can find the link in the description. So everything, or 90% of what you see, was built in the course, in the Unreal Engine course. And you can learn more about it. The offer is ending in 6-7 hours. I might extend it until tomorrow, but if you want to learn Blueprint, if you've never touched Blueprint in Unreal Engine in your life and you want to learn how you can create your own custom experiences, we have a course for that. And that's one. Number two, if you don't have time to learn Blueprint, you can check out the template. So this is the exact same template we are showing today. And the template also, as I mentioned, it's on the launch price. So once you open the link that I sent in the chat, let me pin that real quick. You can download the demo, you can read the documentation, and you can see the current offers. You can read about the features we have and so on. So if you don't have time to learn Blueprint, you want to quickly import your project in the template, you can get the template, and we have the discount code. So when you want to buy the individual license, you can copy the discount code, which is launch 100 for $100 off. And if you want now or in future to get it on Fab, you can also do that. And what you get is the following. So you get, so if you buy the Unreal Engine course, of course, you will get all the lessons and past versions of the template so you can follow along, and the template. And if you get the template, what you get is the following. So you get the template, it will look like this when you download it. And you also get access to our community. So we have a private community on our Academy where you can post about your problems, your issues, features you want, discussions, and so on. So all of that you can ask here, and every day I come to the group here and I answer questions and so on. So that's when you get access to the community. And what's inside is the following. So when you buy the template, we have detailed lessons that I recorded recently, and I uploaded on how to customize and work with each feature. And of course, the downloads of the template. So here we will have the versions where you can simply click download and download the template. And here are the lessons, as well as the documentation of the template. Right now, it's being hosted on Notion, but soon we're going to have our own special website for the template with its own documentation to, if you don't want to watch videos, or if you want to watch videos and read the documentation, you can do both. And of course, they will all be updated as we go. So basically, that's what you get. You get the template, you get access to the community, and you get access to how to use it, which is very, very important, of course. And you can find all that in your library. So when you create an account, if you already have an account, you should have access to the library, and you will find everything here. So these are some past courses, and these are the template here, and so on. In terms of upcoming features, there is a roadmap that you can also check. Right now, I'm focused on the touch screens. These are the confirmed features. There is much more, of course, but the confirmed ones are the touch screen inputs, the live data tables, and the DSLR mode. And the roadmap will basically keep you up to date. Okay. Now I talked about the offer. The offer is ending today. Let's get back to the template and navigate the demo, basically. So teleport, we just discussed it. And as I mentioned earlier, if you get the course, you even learn how to make movable panels like this. So not only the systems. Customize, we have multiple customization modes, and this is the basic one, or the AEC customize mode, where you can tag objects that you want to customize and then simply customize. We have customization for materials, for furniture, and for both. We will look into the furniture in different map because this map is still work in progress. And I showed here the customization of the architecture. So if I move, for example, to the interior of the project and I want to customize the floors, the interior walls, we can customize specific elements like so. And if you want to customize the floors, you can also do that. And the site pavement, you can also do that. So these are some examples on how it's set up and so on, and how to use them. It's all available in the demo. We also have time of day. So the time of day, we will have integration with Ultra Dynamic Sky. I would like to make lessons on how to integrate it in future, but right now we are using the Sun and Sky actor, the ones that comes with Unreal Engine. And we have a lighting mode. So this is a special post-process material that I made that can get rid of most colors and make us focus on the project without materials, basically. So that's the lighting mode. You have the ability to take screenshots, and that can be done in editor and in packaged build. So when you take screenshot, basically, when I said DSLR mode, I want to give our clients freedom to walk around the projects that we are creating and then take screenshots on their own. And when I also say clients, I also mean the marketing team. Imagine in your company, if you are working with artists and you have a marketing team, social media team, whether you're in real estate or archviz and so on, and you want people to take their own material, that's the reason we have something like screenshot. So when you take a screenshot, it will set the date and it will save in a special folder next to the project, and you can basically set the resolution and so on. So all these things I explain in detail in the lessons that you will find on the Academy. Oh, Creative VFX, thank you so much. I'm really new to super chat stuff, so it's so cool to see this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And wow, thank you. In addition to the screenshot, we have a cinematic mode. So a cinematic mode is basically a sequence that you set up in your project, and it will play that sequence. It can play it forward or backward. So this is good for exhibitions, kiosks, and so on. If there is no one watching the project and you want to spark curiosity, you can play this mode. And this mode have some interactive elements as well. So while we are playing the cinematic, we can change time of day, like so. And we have we can enable layering mode and so on. And in the future, I will enable some other modes like the customization mode. It would be nice to customize aspects of the project in the cinematic mode and allow the ability to take screenshots. So that's regarding the cinematic mode. In addition to that, these are three important modes that we're going to discuss in a second. We also have a compass that's very easy to set up as well. And we have a minimap. So a minimap, let's go to the first person view. As you see, when we enter specific bounds or we are near the project, it will show. And when we leave the part of the project, there is basically no minimap. And you can set as many minimaps as you want in your project in different rotations, for different floor plans, and for different buildings and so on. So this is super dynamic and scalable system, the minimap system here. And it works also with the teleport system. So if I go to the top of the building, it will take me, or it will update the minimap to the top of the building. If I go to specific, to the center of the building, it will update that as well. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, and all that good stuff. So that's regarding the minimap and the compass. We also have the gallery view, pretty self-explanatory, where you can take visuals of the project, or you can have a Canva presentation that you can import to the Unreal project to have a nice gallery view. Now the rest, we have unit inventory, amenities, and surroundings. We can start with unit inventory. So you may have seen my last devlog where I talk about how I made the double slider, a slider with two handles. So let me change the material of the walls to something that we can read slightly better visually. And let's go back to the inventory. So we have double sliders to set the surface area and the budget of the project. And as you move the sliders, it will basically update what we see. And here, for example, we have 14 units of 88. When I click on any of these points of interest, they also, some of them you will notice have two buttons. Some of them might have one button, and some of them might have three buttons. So I will talk about that more. And the third button is the ability to explore apartments. So we have this explore mode that would allow me to explore my project. And in upcoming future update, of course, we're going to have doors and whatnot. And once you finish exploration, you can cancel this and it will take us back to our view. And you can click on section view to have a section view like this. And you can have a specific gallery for each unit you have. So we'll talk about that more. And the filters here are pretty self-explanatory. So all these bedrooms, for example, have all these units have two bedrooms. If I disable that, we will not see any. If I don't want to see sold apartments, you can disable that. Upcoming, rented, and so on. So what you would expect from a filtering system, we've learned how to make it, and it's also pretty easy to customize. And within this filter system, you can switch to amenities and surroundings. So amenities, it's the amenities. So these are also dynamic lists. If you add any amenities, they will auto-populate. And the same for the features. I will talk about that once we get to it, when like how to use the template. So when you click on anything, it has a nice panel that you can move around. You can add details, buttons to it, and so on, to allow users to learn more about the project. And surroundings, when you click on it, it will zoom out and you will see the surroundings of your project, like so, with nice, smooth camera animation. And yeah, that's I hope and I believe everything, unless I forgot something. We said that we want to talk about the customization of furniture. So let's talk about that. So in the template, when you download it, you will find the main menu, the gallery, the demonstration, and the thumbnail studio. And all these are important You will also find links to the documentation, the roadmap, feedback, and so on. So let's click on play. And let's click on teleport. Let's teleport to our customization room. So when I click on customize, anything that's customizable, you're gonna see an icon. And when you get near a customizable object, you can click on customize to customize it, or some objects. So this is an upcoming, you can click on learn more to write more text if you want. You can disable this button if you don't want it. And you have a gallery, of course, local gallery, and a website. So that website will open the academy on the other screen here. So you can customize materials, you can swap meshes, and you can do both. So when I want to click here, it will allow me to swap meshes and customize materials on these meshes. So technically we have 3 tools for customizations. And there are so many small details. They are all covered in the lessons. But for example, when I am in customize mode and I have this panel open and I leave the bounds, this will close and so on. So many small quality of life features here and there that we cover in the lessons that I accounted for so we can have a smooth experience. So I'm gonna stop here. I think that's everything about the demo, the one you can download from the project to test for yourself, and the main features. What I'm going to do next is to read the chat if there is anything, and then I'm going to explain how you can set up your project from scratch. So let me open the chat. It should be good. Okay. Before we continue, do you guys have any questions, any thoughts, any ideas? I want to make sure that the chat is active and I'm not disconnected. Actually, I am not disconnected. That's good. Coffee. Is the music good? Should be in the background. All right. I imagine most of you are working and putting the stream on the side of the screen and doing your work. If you can take a second to say hello, and we can continue. Okay, so I will keep an eye on the chat as we go. Now, when you download the template, this is what you get once you unzip the file, so don't forget to unzip it. And let's open the template, and let me close this project here so we can just work with the template. And I really hope Unreal Engine will not. I think Unreal Engine is gonna be the best. So let me make a copy, because Unreal Engine 5.4 on my machine sometimes take forever. So what I'm going to do is to upgrade this to a new Unreal Engine version and we can continue. Let's test it on 5.7. What can go wrong? I never used 5.7 yet. So just to make sure, 5.7. Let it initialize. I want to make another live stream together, guys, where we explore the new features of 5.7, learn about it, and read the roadmap. One thing I'm particularly excited about is mega lights, the ability to add as many lights, because Lumen can be painful when you add more and more lights. Let's give it some time to compile meshes, distance fields, all that stuff. The life of Unreal Engine, 50% work, 50% wait. Or let's say just Unreal, new Unreal projects. So perhaps what I should also do is to start a 5.7 project. Oh, I mean, I'm trying, guys, look. 5.6. Thank you. As Unreal Engine loads, if you'd like to tell me what time it is on your end. So here it's 4:22. And what about you? Is it 1 p.m.? Is it 8 p.m.? Is it 7 p.m. or a.m.? Unless you want to see me talking to myself, that's okay. I can keep doing that. All right, so what we have here is 5.6 launcher, and let's say my project test, or my AEC project, why not? So I want to select a blank template and you click on create. All right, so I should have started 5.7. But you have a texture. Aha, virtual texture problems, okay. So this is weird. We lost the textures on the 5.7 version. I need to investigate into that to learn what happened. But let's start from completely new project as I have here. It has nothing. Let's also disable the plugin content so we have less folders to work with. And ideally, I should have Unreal Engine 5.4 opens, but sometimes for some reason it takes 10 minutes, 20 minutes until it opens, unless I force restart my PC and then it just opens. Very weird. So if it was open, what I would do in this scenario is like right click and migrate the asset to show you how to do it properly. But since Unreal is not open, my only solution is to copy the content folder from one project to another. So let me quickly do that, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. So this is the Unreal Engine 5.4 project. If you open it, you would go to the content folder. This is the AEC interactive folder. That's the only folder you need. You basically right click and migrate this to your Unreal Engine project if you're already working on an Unreal project, or if you started a new project. In this case, we started a new project, but it is basically the same. So you can either right click the folder and click on migrate, click OK, and select the content folder of your project. Or if Unreal Engine is not open, you can simply click on this folder, press Ctrl C, go to your current Unreal Engine project or the project you just made and press on Ctrl V, of course within the content folder, and give it a minute to copy the data. Now, here we have our folder, so I'm going to open the demonstration level. And I will show you how you can set things up for your Unreal project, or we can even create a new map, no problem. So perhaps just for testing, let's unhide everything in this level. Let's click on Data Thmeth Exporter, and let's wood up temp. Let's export this as an imaginary project, which is very similar to what I'm working on with. So we can re-import it and set things up. This makes me, I wish I didn't open this demonstration level, but that's okay. Let's give it a second. I am curious, anyone in the chat, can you just type anything? An emote, angry face, sad face, this one. Hey, Gurbal, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I cannot read that name, but I believe this is Korean. Also, thank you. All right, guys, I really appreciate you. Lapin Lab, Thank you too, brother. It might be a bit off topic. Does the template support DLSS? I'm also curious about how to add DLSS support to VR. One of my students this morning were asking about DLSS for Unreal Engine 5.1, but we have DLSS for Unreal Engine 5.2 and going up. I still didn't test DLSS, so it's on my to-do list to test it. So I believe if Unreal Engine supports, and it does support DLSS from NVIDIA, then the template should work with the DLSS support, no problem. However, I didn't test it yet, and I need to test it. And it's on my radar because of the benefits of the frame rate we get and so on. So we have 5.2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for the supported current versions. As I said, I didn't test it yet, but I'd love to. So once I do, I will add that to the facts section in the Academy. So right now, for all questions I'm getting, we have a facts section, and I will update this section here with my team once I set or test the DLSS with the template to see if it works with no problem whatsoever. That's the question 1. Question 2, Lapin, regarding VR. So VR is on the radar, but it's not for this template. It will be, I believe, a completely separate template or product because of the main differences. And it's on the radar at least for away from few months from now, because there are some main updates or features that I'd like to add to this template. The DSLR mode, the touch inputs, the live data tables, and some other quality of life improvements that I want to add to this template to make it even better. And once I believe that I'm fully done with this template, I will tackle VR. So in 2026, there will be 2 things. There will be a new VR course that I will prepare working on, because that's like how I do things. I'd like to develop products and templates and experiences with my students. So there will be a VR course, and once the course is finished, there will be also a template of or VR integration. Now, I want to assess how can we integrate VR with this, and we will see how it goes. But right now, the plan, like the safe route, if you will, is to have like the template separate from VR integration. We will see about that in the future, though. And for DSLS support for VR, I think it should be supported, but I also need to test that to see how, like, if does it work, does it not, because I never tested DLSS from NVIDIA yet, and I would love to test it and to see if they support VR. So let's quickly search. No, there is nothing about VR in this page. However, who knows, it might work. So I'm definitely interested in this. And once I do, perhaps we can cover it in a live stream and we can see how it will go. Beautiful question, Lapin. Thank you. Mr. Vei, hello, and I hope you're having a lovely day. And Jackson, hello, master. I'm just a guy, bro. Greetings from Colombia. Thank you. Greetings from Istanbul, where I am now, and greetings from Aleppo, my hometown, Halab. And you guys are amazing. Renda CGI just bought the template. Thank you for the offer. Already have the course, but this saves a lot of time. Can't wait to use it. Thank you so much, Renda. I'm glad for. Thank you for your support. And my team will reach out to you, because if you got the template, if you have the course, you already have the template. And this happened last week with one of our new students. He got the course and the template. So we sent him an email, hey, if you get the course, you already have the template. So my team will email you, Renda. If you already have the course, you also have the template. So we can either offer you a refund or you can get a discount on future products. Both are fine. Thank you so much for your support. Mr. Vei, have you any experience running these visualizations on Quest 3, for example, natively as an Android app? No. VR is on my radar again in the near future, in a couple of months. I will create the template from scratch for the Quest. I have the Quest 2, but Quest 3 should be no problem as well. And when it comes to Quest in specifically, when you want to develop for it, I believe it runs on Android or something. So it's been a while since I made anything for VR. So we should have the SDK for Android and whatnot. And it'll take some time, but no, I don't have the answer now. But when it comes to running this natively on Quest 3 or 2, you want to focus on heavy optimization of the project. I believe you want to forget about using Lumen and some other features, but the main benefit is exploring the space. So I have plans for VR in the future. Once I do, we will announce them on the channel and on the Academy. And I hope sooner than later, because I'm excited to get into VR again. So before, for me, this whole year, I was working only with blueprints to master blueprints, at least for myself. When I get into VR, it will be easier to get into. Does AEC work on Android devices? Have you tested? Is it optimized for it? Gurbal, so this is not supposed to run natively on Android or iOS. If you want to run it, it should be through Pixel streaming. Now, I'm very curious, just like you, once I implement the touch inputs, how this will run on Android and iOS. So that's something for the near future. Once I finalize the touch inputs, we can test it and see how it works outside of the box. So my next focus now is the touch inputs. Once we do, we can easily package this for Android and iOS and see how it goes. All right. So we are here in 5.6, and you can be using any engine version you want. And let's say this will be level test. Let's open this and let's save, and let's import our file that we just exported from 3ds Max with DataMath. So let's open the DataMath file. Let's create a new folder, call it my project. And let's talk about setting up the template together. So let's import this file. And let's give it a second. Okay. So I'm going to add quick light setup that we will change in a second. I'm going to tell you why we change it, but let's start with the default light setup that we all know. So I'm going to go to Window, and I'm going to click on the, where is it? I have been using 5.4 for the past whole year, and it's so interesting. There we go. Let's create the default light setup, and let's select the volume for now and delete them. Because we can re-import them later. Gurbal, I would love to hear from you if you've tested the AEC Interactive on Android. Okay. So let's imagine that this is your project. You've got the template and you want to integrate the template on your project. We've done nothing yet. Let's save everything. So just in case if Unreal crashes, we have a backup. Give it a second. I'm gonna also stop the music so we can focus together here. All right. Now, something I'd like to do is to select all static meshes in the project and give them a material. So under AEC Interactive, if you go to Materials, you will go to Prototype Grids. Instances, you have these materials if you want to quickly assign materials on the project, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to select the gray warm material and I will assign that on the project. Gurbal, not yet. You're building project in 5.7 from scratch. We will test after that. I'd love to hear from you once you do, Gurbal. And we will stay connected as we develop the test, the touch inputs. So I'm very excited about what can work outside of the box. Okay. Now I'm going to quickly also select all windows in the project. So let's type window, then select all children. Then let's go to our materials. So all these materials, they will come with a template, so you can quickly assign them. So here we have glass tinted. You can assign that. And now we can see clearly from the windows. And I would love to add more and more materials as we go to quickly make projects look nice. Now, let's save. And as you know, your Unreal project without any setup, anything, if you click on play, nothing is going to happen. Okay? There is no taskbar, there is no nothing. So the first thing you should do is a couple of things. The number one thing is the world settings you want to change. So if world settings here, if you don't have it, you want to go to window and you want to click on world settings. And in Unreal Engine 5.4, you can access that from here, but it's okay. So we have world settings, you have the game mode override. It's set to none by default, and you want to set the game mode AEC. So if you just type AEC, you're going to find that. And if you click on this, now that's step number one. And if you click here, you will see we have the default pawn class, the first person, the player controller AEC. So these are the two main things. And right now we still cannot click on play, because if you click on play, you're gonna spawn at the 000 point of your project, and you will get, as you can see, some warning messages. So that's fine. From here, step number one is to set the game mode to AEC. Game mode AEC. That's step number one. Step number two, you want to go to edit, you want to go to project settings, and you want to go to game mode. So if you go to maps and modes, you will see here game instance. So I said the game mode. You want to go to game instance. So maps and modes, game instance, and here you want to set this from game instance to game instance AEC. In this game instance file, we save and we register points of interest. We register something called explore mode. Is the cinematic mode is active. So there are many things that some communication happen between blueprints that goes to a central place, which is the game instance. And the game instance is always active through the Unreal project. That's why we choose it. So we need to set the game instance to game instance AEC. So that's step number two. Step number three, you want to click here on default pawn class, and you want to click and you want to find the pawns. So under AEC Interactive, if you go to Blueprints, if you go to Core, if you go to pawns, and these are the characters you can explore the project with, and you can simply click and drag. So let's say I want to be able to have first-person perspective within my project. I would click and drag and add this to my world. And let's say I want to have the drone mode. So we can click and drag that and add it to my world. And let's say I want to start from this view. You can do that. So let's do this. Okay. And let's say I want to have the top-down mode. So I can click and drag and add that to my project. And you can add the pawns you want to add to your project. So let's say now we've added 3. And let me do something real quick together. I'm going to create a new folder, call it AEC. And within that folder, I'm going to create another. And let's call it pawns. And I'm going to select the pawns we've added, add them here. And I'm going to create another folder, call it mesh, to add my project into it. And I'm going to create another folder, let's call it lighting. And I'm going to add the temporary lighting setup that we made so we can remove it later, and I will explain why. So let's click and drag and add that. Now, technically we're not done yet. Technically we're done. But we need to add the just a blocking volume, because now if you click on play, we're gonna fall from the ground, because by default, if you import your assets with data.math, there will be no collision on the mesh. So we need to add a blocking volume, or we need to set collisions on our meshes. And for now, I'm going to select some, let's just add a blocking volume. Well, technically, here is what I would do. I would select the major elements. So let's say this around my project. And I will press Ctrl B, or select all my static meshes here. Not all, you should not select everything. You should select just where you really need your collision, or design it. So that's off topic for now. Right click, and let's go to Asset Actions, Edit Selection and Property Matrix, select these and the other meshes you want to add collision to. And for now, you're gonna go to Static Mesh, Body Setup, and you want to change the collision complexity from project default to use complex collision as simple. Okay? So now when I click on play, we will not fall through the ground. Now, if you want, so we finished the setup. One final thing you want to do, especially if you're packaging the project, you want to add the player start anywhere in the level. And we're done. That's 80% of the setup. So now, if I want to switch my default pawn class, let's say you don't want to start from the first person, you want to start from the drone, you can simply select the drone, and when you click on play, it will start from the drone, and you can press T to bring the taskbar. That's a default shortcut we have. You can click on view modes, and the drone mode is the drone view is the active mode. You can keep it active, or you can switch on the top-down view or the first-person view and switch in between. Now notice the third person, we didn't add it to the level, and the button of it also is not here. So if you decide, okay, I also want to explore in the third person mode, you can add that to your level. So I'm gonna click and drag to add the third person character. And let's say I'm gonna switch this to the third person character to start with. And now when I click on play, we start from the third person character. So if I want to switch view modes, we have, is this a bug? I believe it's a bug. Yeah, I get happy when I discover bugs. Noted. This is so funny, it works only on the third person. So let's try the top down. Interesting. So by default, when you have a specific mode selected, that mode should be also active here. So now I have no idea why this happened, even though I'm sure I fixed it or made it work, but that's funny. So can I remove the third person? Click on play. This is 5.6, so I need to figure out why 5.6 made it happen. But that's the goal of demo, no problem. Okay. Let's say if you remove the drone and top down, or just the top down or the drone, remove the drone, click on play. We need also to change it from here. So here I have drone, and if I don't have it in my level, we're gonna get some problems. So let's select the first person view now, since it's already in the level, and click on play. We have the third person, first person view, and now we have only two buttons, the first person and the top down. If I bring back the drone and I click on play, we will have the drone as a button. Now, okay. Did I forget anything? You have the game mode. Let's save. Let's click on play. Yeah, when I click on the taskbar, this should be have the drone activated, and for some reason it's not. So that's something I need to look into and have a hot fix for it. So yeah, this happened, even though I spent the whole day working on it, but it is what it is. Unreal Engine can be Unreal. Okay, that's fine. Now let's continue. So what I'm going to do is to show you the first feature. So I'm going to select the first person view, and I'm going to click on play. Now, teleport panel, we need to add teleport points. And so this is one of the core features. If you want to add teleportation to your project, you want to go to Blueprint, Systems, and here we have teleportation. There are two main actors. There is the teleport manager and there is the teleport point. So the teleport manager will collect all teleportation points in your project, and here it just says teleport points manager. It will not be visible in the game, but we need to add it to the level. And now when I add a teleport point, simply click and drag to your project, and you can give the teleport point a name. So let's say point 1. And let's say this will be here a second teleportation point. Let's add it around. And let's call it point 2. Okay? Now when I click on play, and if I click on teleport, you will have this list. And the ground floor, I'm going to talk about the list name in a second. Here we have point 1 and we have point 2. So let's say we want a third point. So I'm going to simply duplicate this. Now we have a third point. And here notice we have teleport list. It says ground floor, terraces, outside, first floor, and so on. So for the sake of our live stream, I'm going to go to add another new list. So I'm going to add to the folder enums. Here we have something called e-teleport lists. I'm going to double click this. And here we have these elements. So let's say I'm going to add a new enumerator, and I'm going to call it live stream. Okay? If I save this, let's go here now. On the list, you can see we have a list called live stream. And if I click on play, click on teleport, we have now a new list called live stream, and inside it we have this new point we've created. And that's how you separate areas from each other. So let's say this here is outside. I think I have something called outside. I can select it and I can call it outside. And let's say this teleport point 3. And now we have 3 separate lists. And as you see, here we have 3 separate lists. So you can add as many lists as you want, and they will all be organized based on the list name and the point name. Okay. That should be clear. And if you also switch to drone mode or whatever, you can also still use this system. So it just works, no problem. Now, the customize mode, when you open it, or I'm trying to remember if there is something I want to talk about specific order. So we talk about view modes. We talk about teleport. Yeah, since this is here, we can talk about it here. Let's go to Blueprints, Systems. We have AEC Material Library. So if you open this, you will find UI. And this folder here is where we see all our customization options. So this is one of my favorite systems. It's a scalable system, and you can of course add or remove anything you want. If you want to make it empty or if you want to add elements to it. So here we have the material selector. You can add as many lists, and you will have the ability to scroll between these lists. And each list you add, you can set a name. So name of the list, basically that name will appear here. It's very fine. And you can set target objects tag. So this is very important. As well as a data table. So a data table, You can add as many materials here and they will all populate within your list. So here, this is an example. I have this data table with 6 materials on it, and each material have a name, have a thumbnail, and a material instance. So here, if I select this material name, I can click, this specific data table, and here we have multiple data tables as examples. If you have one, you can simply assign it here and then select the tag or the target tag you want. So I'm going to copy this tag and I'm going to select, let's say, the beams. Okay, so let's select all the beams, and let's say the tag here, I'm going to change it to be beam. I'm going to select the beam objects and I'm going to search for tag. So select the static mesh and then type tag in the details panel and go to actor, not tags, go to actor. Here you're gonna find tags under actor. So these tags we got from data.math exporter. I can simply remove them like so. And let's add a new tag and let's add it the exact same tag we've added in our target objects tag. Okay? And for just focus purposes, let's remove these other lists and let's click on play. So now if I click on customize, you will see this list, and notice when I change the beams, they will simply change now. So you can simply select all the objects that you want to customize, add a tag for them, add a list for them, and you're done. This is very easy to set up, and I think it's very nice to have something like this where you can easily customize hundreds, thousands, it doesn't matter how many objects that you want to customize with the system here. So that's regarding customize. Now, as I've said earlier, or maybe do I have the level open? So which Unreal version is this? Yeah, 5.4, it now decided to open. In addition to ability to customize objects with data tables, we have also other actors that we can customize objects with. So here, if you type control space, let's go to systems. Here we have a folder called configurators. If you open this, you're gonna find five configurator types. We have legacy assets, furniture, and materials, and they look like this. So this is for the material changer, and this is for the furniture. And we made these last year to showcase or to introduce Blueprint to my students. So these are legacy systems from my perspective. I personally prefer to work with the UI-based systems, not the 3D-based systems. So the UI, we have 3 types. Let me open this. Let's go to Blueprints, Systems, Configurators. We have Configurator of Materials, Configurator of Meshes, and Materials and Meshes. So let's go back here and let's quickly go to our level here. So let's say Configurator Materials. I'm going to click and drag and add this here. And let's cancel the tag search. Now, this is an empty actor. We still didn't set up anything. As you see here, we have 2 boxes. We have a big box and a small box, and these are collision boxes. So these collision boxes can be customized from here. And I'm gonna show you what these collision boxes are. So I'm going to click on customize to enable this mode. So we have a mode called customize mode. When you click on it, it will be enabled, because the logic behind this, imagine you are working in an interior project or a villa and you have many things you can customize. You don't want for the panels, the customization panels, to be in your face all the time. I personally prefer to have a mode. When I click on customize, we will see the customization icons. So when we add the customization actor, you have first, you are completely outside of the collision boxes. We don't see anything. The moment we get near specific object that we can customize, on top of it, we're gonna have an icon. And when you get really near that object, you can have a prompt to tell you what do you want to do. You want to learn more or you want to customize. So, oops, I changed the panel here on the left. So let's add an object to customize. Here I'm going to go to my assets, meshes, let's say furniture, and let's say this bed option. And let's add this on top of the bed here. Sorry. Let's add it here. Now, we have the box extent, one for the small box. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, let's switch like this. One for the small box and one for the big box. The small one is for the prompt and the big box is for the icon. This is done. It's called box extent. Next, we have selected the material, the user interface options. So we have the title text, button 1, what does it say? Button 2, what does it say? And the icons on these buttons, so you can customize these. So I'm going to click on play. If you click on customize and get near the object, here it says select a button, learn more and customize. You can change these if you want. So here, select a button, let's say, welcome to this. Whatever, you can type whatever you want. And instead of customize, maybe you want to change it to swap. Or maybe you want to use different language than English. Maybe Spanish, maybe French, maybe Arabic, maybe anything you want, depending on the text, of course. So you can change the texts on these buttons. And you also have the ability to disable a specific button. So we have the button learn more. If you decide to disable it, you simply click here to disable that button. And let me make sure that, yeah, you can see. And, you know, I just thought it would be amazing if we can have some sort of program where I can zoom in, just like we do in video tutorials, to zoom in here. So maybe I will look into that for future. I went off topic because I just got this thought anyway. So I disabled this for now. I'm going to show you how we enable it later. And finally, you have the main configuration options. So here you want to select the actors that you want to update. So here I can click and I can select this actor. And if I have more, I can simply add more to my list. And let me show you here. So here I would select this bed now. And then you would select the available material options. So this is also scalable. If I add 3, 4, 5, whatever, click on play. Right now they are empty, but let me show you. Let's get near, let's click on customize, click on swap. As you can see, we get a list with all the options we can add. And if you close this, you remember here we wrote welcome to this. So you can write here whatever you want. Change, swap, icon. You can customize this to your liking so it can fit your needs basically. And enable button, learn more. If I enable this, you have also the ability to add more texts. And let's say if this is a piece of furniture, you want to write about this piece of furniture, you want to add pictures of this piece of furniture, you can do all that. And here the media gallery, let me show you also before. If I click on play and I click on customize, if you click on learn more, you just have a website, so you can direct people to website, or you can add a gallery. So here the gallery right now is empty, but if I add elements to that gallery, and let me bring this pawn here so we can spawn next to it. Let's click on play and let's click on customize. Learn more, now we have a gallery. So depending on the elements you add, you can add 3, 4, 5, 100, whatever you want, you can add them. And you can set the elements, of course. So here you can set image name. Oops, I deleted it by mistake. So let's do that. Image name. And let's add a texture. So let's search for gallery. I have some placeholder images. Let's click on play and let's click on customize, learn more, gallery. This is the image we just set up. So pretty self-explanatory, I hope. Now, regarding the setup of the options, here's what you have. First of all, you have the option name. So let's say this is option 1. then you have the ability to add a picture on the button of that option. So let's select from our assets. You have textures, we have icons. No, let's say UI examples, materials, let's say green or whatever. You can set that here. And let's say for the second option, I'm going to set another image. So I'm going to go to customize and I will select the bed, whatever, just for demonstration. And let's call it option 2. Now, materials per option, that's very important. So if you click on this object here have 4 material instances. So sometimes you might import an object from your DCC application and it might have just one material ID, or it might have 4 material IDs. And as you know, this is element 0, element 1, element 2, and so on. So in this scenario then, if you click on the configurator, you want to add 4 material elements if you want to change everything about this bed, or just one material element if you want to say, let's change the blanket, for example. So let's say we just want to change the blanket, then we just add one material ID. And the blanket here, I think it's element 2. So I'm going to set the ID that we want to set. So here we have material element ID, set it to 2. And then we have the material instance. So the material instance, let's say I want for this to be green. I can click and I can set this to be a green material instance. And for option 2, let's say I want to change the same element, but instead of green, I want to change it to olive color. And you can add more material IDs if you want. I will show you what that looks like in a moment. So now let's click on play and let's click on customize, click on swap. As you can see here, we see the images we set on the button. And if I click here, we get the green changing on both. If I click here, this is the olive color, and so on. So if I show you here, then this is one example you will see in the gallery. You will see that we have here 3 elements, 3 material options, the user interface texture, the name of the option, as well as the material instance. And within the exact same logic, we have the mesh swap. So let me show you. Let's swap here. Let me bring the configurator and let's get the configurator mesh. And let's select. Here you will see these settings. Click to swap meshes. Swap meshes, you can change or translate these to whatever you want. You can set as well the extension, the box extent, and you can select the elements and the meshes you want to modify. So here, click and select the element, and then you can add the material options you want to add. So the first option you may want to add is the actual mesh, if you want to keep things consistent. And the second option, let's say we want to change it to a chair. So let's say this will be bed and this will be chair. And for the material options, let's go to assets, mesh, textures, UI example, customize. Here I have a bed. Let's assign that here. And here I have a sofa, not a chair. Let's assign that here. And let's change this from a chair to a sofa for just consistency. And the final thing you want to do, if you want to swap your meshes, you want to make sure that this is not static, it's movable. Let me show you, because this is very easy to fix. If I click on customize and I click now on swap meshes, this will not work, as you can see. You will get errors actually. The errors will tell you, hey, the mobility is static. So you need to switch this from static to movable. And let's do that now. Click on play, click on customize, click on swap meshes, and now you can swap the meshes. And let's say I want to swap multiple meshes. All you need to do is to add another array element and select the mesh you want to swap. Make sure it's set to movable, and now we can swap it. So Let's go to customize, swap mesh, and now you can swap the meshes. Now, what if we have mix of both, swapping materials and swapping meshes, and that's the third little system we have here. Let me show you that here in action. So let's click on customize. Sorry, let's click on teleport to the room first. Here, there are, as I said, detailed lessons on the Academy once you get the template on how you can set these up, but here just quickly showcasing things. You can select a mesh, and then you can set the materials on that mesh. And basically, I mixed the mesh swap and the material swap to get the material and mesh swap. That's it. And by the way, if you download the demo, at any time you can, it's also written, but you can press Alt to stop moving the camera, because sometimes you want to bring the mouse, so Alt will bring the mouse, so you can customize things. So you can click and choose the options you want to choose. So let's go back to our project, and let's see what we else need, anything in the chat. Let's take a moment to drink some water. If you want to ask anything in the chat, now is the time, and we will continue after I drink some water. Maybe I can add some coffee to that water. All right. So if you are new here, just in case, if you want to know what we are talking about, to get anyone who just joined the live stream up to date, recently, this week, we released AEC Interactive. You can learn more about it in the link in the description. It's a template where you can import your projects to customize them. It's available on our Academy. It's available on Fab. And I'm going to extend this one more day, where you can get it with the launch price, where you save $100. So it's from 247 to 147 for the launch price, and that's only on the Academy. On Fab, you can get it for the full price, but because we cannot have the same, I simply cannot have sale on Fab until 30 days from now. So it is what it is. Okay. Hello, Lucas. How do you send the demo to a client? So Lucas, imagine you are my client. If you go to the link in the chat, in the description, here you can download the demo and test it on your end. So to share this with the client, you want to package this here, package content. You will select a project folder you want to save this to. And basically, you will have an executable file that you can upload and send to your client. You can also, if your client does not have a powerful PC, you can package this and use some pixel streaming services. So I plan on supporting pixel streaming in the very near future with some touch inputs and so on. So assuming your client have a good PC, and depending on your optimization skills, all you need to do is to package the project and send it to them. So you can try the demo for yourself, and you can let me know your feedback. Good question, Lucas. Okay, now let's click on play real quick and notice how, well, we will talk about the POIs later, but the lighting mode. So let's click. So something is interesting with 5.7 here, or this is 5.6. I'm going to delete this light setup. Just quick test. And this is my 5.4 template. Okay. So I'm going to add to my level an actor that comes with Unreal Engine when you choose the architecture template. It's the sun and sky. So if you go to add and you go to lights, you go to sun and sky. Wow, sorry about that. Let's just quickly select the sun together and set it from 75,000 lumens to 10 lumens and give the auto exposure some time. And render CGI. Ah, cool. I didn't realize. No problem. Thanks for the team. Of course, Renda. No problem. We will email you, and anything you want, we are happy to help. But thank you so much for your support. Lucas, you have to find out more about pixel streaming. Thanks. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Okay. Now we've added the sun and sky actor to our level. Once you do, we can have the button time of day, and you can simply change time of day. Basically that's it. Okay? Now, there is something I forgot to mention, and I want to record a lesson about it. The post-process volume setup. I just noticed, actually. So when I click on play and we click on customize, we are supposed to see an outline around the mesh. But I completely forgot to set up the post-process volume, so let's do it together. So if I go to add and I go to volumes, you can find the post-process volume. Let's add that. Click and drag, and let's go to the setting where we can make this set to infinite extent and bound. That's one. So it would affect our whole world. The next thing you want to do is to go to rendering features, and you want to go to post-process materials. And under array, it has 0 element. You want to click and you want to choose an asset reference. And you want to click and you want to search for PPV. Not this. I forgot the name. Let me just quickly remember. So it's under AEC Interactive Materials Outline Material. It's called how? Post-process material is called PPM. So you want to choose the PPMI outline. And if you open this, here you will find the color that you can customize to whatever color you want. Right now I'm going to keep it at blue. If you add this material here, and now if we click on play, and we click on customize and click on swap meshes, you will see that there is an outline around the mesh. That's what I wanted to talk about here. So basically that's it. Now, while we're here, we also need to set the lighting mode. So right now, if you click on the lighting mode, nothing is going to happen. So if you add another array element, here we have the lighting mode clay. So let me add that. Let's add it here, like so. Give it a second. And let's set this on 0. Click on play and click on lighting mode. Actually, I think I forgot how to set it up. Actually, wait, I remember how to set it up. It should be its own lighting mode. I just need to copy its settings from our main level. So let's go quickly to demonstration level, and let's make another post-process volume, and this one will be for the lighting mode. Let's select this one. Let's remove this one from here. And this one here, let's remove the duplication of the outline. So one post-process volume, it has the outline, and in this post-process volume, you can do everything you want. And we should have another post-process volume, and this one is just for the lighting on your project. So let's go to rendering features, or we can make this set to disable the infinite extent and put it somewhere in the project. away from you, because if you enter this mode, it will enable the rendering feature we just added, the lighting clay mode, basically. Okay, so this is a custom material that I made, and to enable it, as far as I remember, because this is very, very, very new, it is. Do we have a tag on it? Yes, PPV tag. Okay, then we just need to add a tag, and that tag will say PPV. And let's click now on play. Click on lighting mode. It activates the lighting mode. So that's how you set this up. So now we have light time of day. We have a lighting mode, specific lighting mode. And we also have the ability to customize our meshes and see our outline. Okay. What else? Screenshot, we discussed it. Cinematic, here we need to, it will use the cinematic that I have with the level, which is cinematic you can set up. And you will find the detailed lesson on this. It's very easy, actually. So in the cinematic, what we have is a level sequence. So this sequence, let's just search for it. Unreal, don't crash, please. Thank you. Here I have this level sequence. It's called demonstration. And basically, it's this animation. So once you set up your sequence, you can play it in the project. So you can open the taskbar and click on the button you want, in this case cinematic, and then click on button clicked. This is the fastest way to find what it does. If you click here, you will find the logic, and here you will find this actor that says update this with your sequence. So select this and select any level sequence, and when you click on cinematic, it will simply play the cinematic you want to play. So let's close this. Okay. And let's go back to blueprints, systems, and let's click on the points of interest. So we have amenities and units, residential, surroundings, and so on. And the POI manager. So this is important to, similar to the teleport manager, we have a points of interest manager. Basically what this does is sorting through all the actors in our level and creating dynamic menus. I'm gonna show you what I mean. So here we have like the surroundings POI. If you click and drag, and this one, you can set the information and everything. Let me show you what I mean. So now we've added the manager and we've added the surroundings. If I click on play, here notice we have a new button called surroundings. So if I don't have anything in my level, any surrounding or amenities, click on play. We don't have that button, so it's dynamic. And I think I'm gonna do the same for lighting mode and for time of day in upcoming update. If there is no sun and sky, or if there is no post-process volume for this, you won't see this button. So these are some quality of life features I'm planning. So you don't need to disable them manually. Anyway, let's add the surroundings actor. Now, if I click on play, you're gonna see surroundings. And let's say also I'm gonna add an amenities actor. So I'm going to click and drag and add amenities actor here. And it has all the controls that you would expect to set things up in the project. So you can have 2, 3, 4, whatever you want, and so on. And for the surroundings here, let's click and drag and let's add one here. And instead of schools, let's select, for example, coffee shops. Click. Now we have 2 categories. Let's say we want 3 categories. So click and drag and let's say entertainment. Actually, let's create another. So let's go to enums. Here you have one for surroundings and one for the amenities. So open the amenities. You can click and let's say hello, for example, right? because hello is the easiest word I can think of. And the next word I can think of is coffee. Okay? Coffee. So now I'm going to select one of these amenities. I'm going to click on duplicate and I will select hello, the one we just made. And now let's select this as well and let's click and drag and let's set its category to coffee with the capital letters. And while we're here, let's change the orientation of the camera and whatnot and all the other settings. So you have many settings you can edit: the color, the POI scale, the camera distance, the information, and so on. So let's click on play. And notice now we have another button called amenities. So this is dynamic. If there are amenities in the level, we're gonna see this. If there is not, we're not gonna see it. So if I click here, it will first teleport to a home view. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. And then these are two menus we see. And then we have the last one that says hello. So notice how this was dynamic to set up. Let's say I want another one. So I'm going to duplicate and I'm going to set this to whatever panel I want to set. And I'm going to click on play and I will click on amenities. Now we have 3 categories. Let's say for any reason you want the category hello to be at the very first or after health and wellness, between health and wellness and between service. In the middle, this category here. All you need to do is to click and drag the category. So here we said after health and wellness and before services. So click on the list we've created and add it after health and wellness. So now if I click on play and if I click on my amenities, notice this is now in the middle. That's it. Very easy to set up. Took some time on my end, but on your end it's very easy. Same for surroundings. Here we have 4 lists: coffee, entertainment, coffee shops, and so on. So if you add more, so let's say surroundings here, I'm going to click and drag and I will add places of interest. I will add another, and let's say this one is parks and so on. So you can add as many categories as you want. So let's click now on surroundings. Notice here we have now, what is it? I'm very hungry, by the way. I need to go and eat. What is this? I forgot the name for it. Slider. It's not a slider, but yeah, close enough. Okay? Okay. So now, of course, each of these have one button. So let's say the coffee shops, this one is the hello here. So when you click, you will basically teleport. Here we are getting a warning that we need an actor called clipping plane, but this won't appear if you package your project. It would appear only for us, the developers. So that actor can be found actually here. So the clipping plane, this is click and drag and simply add it on top of your building. We'll talk about this in a second, but let's just add it so we won't see it. The other actor we see for the surroundings is the path tool or the road. So when you click and drag, you can also create roads in your project. So let me click on this and create a road like so. Click on play. By default, you will not see that road. When you click on surroundings, then you will see that road. And I don't know if you've seen that in the devlog or not. If you've seen it, that's very cool. So this is here places of interest. If you create another duplicate, or let's just give it a name, place 1. This here will be place 2, and so on. If you click on surroundings, here place 1, place 2, and so on. So very easy to set up. Now imagine if you spend more time and setting icons, setting colors, doing all that stuff. You can explore that in the demo project. You can have a project that looks like this. So click on play and let's click on amenities. These are the amenities. It has a UI element. It has a panel that you can set, a gallery you can set, and so on. Surroundings and all the good stuff. So the home view here the POI manager is also our home view. So let's say you want to have a default view of your project, then I would add this to the default view of the project. So let's say this will be my default view. And here we have two settings. We have the home camera and the surroundings camera. Surroundings camera is pretty self-explanatory, and the home camera is kind of trickier to see. And this seems to be like a little bug in Unreal where you have multiple actors, but you cannot see multiple cameras. So the workaround for that, at least for me, if you click on the POI manager actor and click on edit, you can temporarily click on the surroundings camera and scroll down to where we have activation, auto activate, disable this for a minute. And I tried to have an option for this here, but it did not work, unfortunately. So now we see the home camera, so you can set how close or far your default home view from the project. So let's say I want for this to be my home view. Now, when I click on play, so let me actually enable the camera. So surroundings camera, let's enable this again, and now we're good. Okay, click on play. If I am in the top-down view, and let's say I am here, when you click on amenities, amenities are for the building, yes? So when you click here, then we should see the building. That's what it does. And surroundings is, of course, the surroundings. So when I click on it, we should see like a top-down view of our surroundings, and that's how you set it up. You have two cameras, one for the home and one for the surroundings. When you click on it, it will show you the camera that you want to see. And at any time, you can click on home to go back to the home view. Now, did I forget anything? Honestly, there is a lot to talk about and so many small details for like to customize the template to your liking. So I'm gonna stop here and I'm going to answer any questions that you guys might have. Now, when you get the template on the Academy or on Fab, if you get it on Fab, you will get invited to the Academy. And I think I'm also going to have a dedicated channel for the template just for the videos. So everything we discussed today and much more actually can be found in the video guides of the document of the template. And we also have documentation where you can read in detail how to set up anything. So that's regarding the how to use and how to sorry, I'm so hungry, guys. How to use the template. Documentation if you want to read, videos if you want to watch. So the customization options and everything, I talk about them in detail in the video here, and so on. Now, I wanted to mention something, yes. We also have this little channel called announcements. Every time I create something, I add something, we do something, we will announce about it here and through other channels depending on the announcement type. But that's also to stay up to date with everything that's happening. So yeah, I'm gonna cancel these. And one final reminder, if you want to get the template, you can get it today with a special launch price. I'm really happy after 13, 14 months of work. Here we are today. And of course, as you saw, we have minor bug that we saw regarding, this is actually super annoying. I don't know why, but the view mode should be specific view mode. In 5.4 here, let's just test it together. If I switch this to drone, is it gonna work? Yeah, it works. If I switch this to top down, click on play, it's top down. Now this is 5.6. If I switch this to drone, it's showing us the first person character for some reason. So I need to look into why this is happening. Maybe I forgot to do something, but by default we should see this as the active button, but that's fine. I have a good feeling that I forgot to do something in the setup today, because there are so much that can go wrong in live presentations, but it is what it is. That's fine. And of course, if you find about any bug, there is a special channel to report on that where we can fix. And yeah, that's it for today. All right. I hope I didn't forget anything, but that's the process. Let me see the chat. I really hope you enjoyed today's presentation, today's demo. I have gonna plan a live stream next week where I'm going to take some projects from my archive and we're gonna apply the template on our old projects to also bring them to life. That was my goal all along, to make it super easy to add the functions we discussed today to projects in Unreal Engine, and do it in a way that's scalable without editing anything in the blueprint logic. So in the past, when I used to be a noob, like my very first project, I had like hundreds of nodes for lights and for other things, and the approach that I used to do in the past was not scalable. And anytime I want to change things, I would go through the spaghetti code I have. And if I have a new project, I need to do everything all over again. And I wanted to change this with the template. Click, import, click and drag, set up a few things, export, done. Don't reinvent the wheel every single time. So yeah, I look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you to everyone, to my students who helped me shape this, and to everyone who got the template. I really look forward to hearing your feedback, what ideas you have, how can we make your life easier. This is for me an ongoing project. I still have improvements and things in my mind that I want to improve on it, to do on it, before I move on to any other project. So that was my total focus for the past 14 months, and it will be the total focus for the next few months. And once we are done, and once we are all happy with the template, we can let it go and move on to different projects. So exciting times. Now, since also we've done this release, I have good plans. I have a big list of YouTube lessons, but making videos can be sometimes really hard. And I want to find balance between making videos and making features. But I want to finalize the UMG series. I have a big lesson planned for anyone who've never created user interfaces in Unreal Engine, how to create your own user interfaces from scratch. So that will be released on YouTube soon. And I have a few other ideas and some plugins that I discovered and some techniques and workflows. So yeah, this is for me a massive milestone, version 1.0 released, so I can focus on creating lessons, doing more live streams, and making art, and all these good things. Okay, guys, I believe there is no questions. There are no questions in the chat. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. If you have any questions, we can ask these questions, or we're going to wrap up the live stream for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm going to drink coffee. Coffee is very good. Do you guys know ملوخية? I don't know its name in English. Let me type on Google. You must find a Syrian place around you, Syrian restaurant, wherever you are, and ask them for ملوخية. Okay? It's one of the best dishes you will ever eat in your life. So that's what I'm going to have for lunch now. It looks like this. Usually you make it with chicken, and you can add some nuts and whatever. And it's like this green thingy. And there are two types. There is the thick that looks like this, and there is the not thick. It's like a soup, but I don't like the soup version. I like this one. It's so good. So I cannot stop thinking about this for now. Yeah, it looks like this when you want to cook it. And it's here called ملوخية. So you need to find this, and you need to test it, and you need to let me know how much you like it, because I'm sure you're gonna love it. If you're a vegetarian, you can cook it without chicken. If you like chicken, you can cook it with chicken, and add some lemon, add some yogurt, and thank me when you do that. So here, ملوخية. Okay then. Let me know if you want a tutorial on how to make it. Okay, guys. Lucas would love to start monetizing some of my projects so I could afford your course on Fab. Thank you, Lucas. Okay, you can get the template from the Academy. It's half the price now compared to Fab. And to monetize your projects, that's very interesting topic. Perhaps you can talk about making money as a 3D artist, but what I recommend is starting a channel, Lucas. Teach people what you know. And the channel is good because it will teach you how to show your work, if you will. And for me, like my life changed 10, 11 years ago when I shared my first Unreal Engine project on YouTube. You can still find it on the channel. It's called Apartment in Izmir. So I highly recommend showing your work. I also have the book on my shelf. Show your work. That's like you want to think about how you can show your work. And now also sometimes with shorts and reels, it's easier than ever to reach an audience. So something I tried my best to do, and I wish I've done more of it in the past year, is to make more videos and more shorts and reels on Instagram and YouTube about the process, about the work I'm doing. Because 90%, if not more, of the students who joined the course and 90% of people who got the template are from the videos and the posts that I've been making. So it's kind of hard, but it's worth doing, to do the work and to show the work every day if possible. Like, you want to find a system, Lucas, and this is for everyone, on how you can, a framework, if you will, on how you can have a routine to show what you're working on. So the worst thing you can do is spending few weeks or few months on specific project and no one knows about it. Usually this is reserved for NDAs and client projects. However, for your own projects, do your best to show your work, and do that on social networks of your choosing. So there is no like something. I love YouTube. Here we are today, and perhaps Instagram and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a place where when you show your work, you will get clients. So these are my recommendations on monetization, Lucas. And if you need any assistance on payment plans, Lucas, reach out to us on the Academy, and my team perhaps can help you with a payment plan where you can pay on multiple months. Especially for the course, we have payment plans for the course. And yeah, you're welcome. Anyone who wants to join us, it would be a pleasure to have you with us. I always get happy when I see new students, new questions, and that's how I also improve as a teacher. So take your time, no rush. Farah food. Faroah food. Yeah, that's a Syrian food. Okay, everyone. Since there are no questions, we're gonna stop the stream here. There is one more question from Sarah. How to manage clients when we have flickering lights in the projects? That's a good question, Sarah. So you need to educate the client. Of course, the flickering should be reasonable. So I don't recommend when you have an Unreal Engine project. For example, notice, Sarah, how I have most walls separated. So when you have everything not separated, migrated, or attached, you're gonna have worse flickering. When you are using emissive materials, focus with me, emissive materials, they cause flickering and so on. So first of all, you want to do your best to reduce flickering to a reasonable level. And if it's not impacting the project a lot, that's fine. You can tell the client, hey, this is a technology limitation. Lumen allow us to switch lights, to finish the project in faster time, to switch objects, to switch materials and all that. But the con is this flickering, unfortunately. If the client says, no, then we must bake the light. With light baked, you get a superior result in terms of quality. Of course, zero flickering, and even like you can get really, really photorealistic results, but the scale of the project matters, and it takes some technical knowledge and some trial and error. So you need to manage expectations, Sarah. That's it. Like when we are in meetings with the clients, like we talk about this. Like I tell my clients about technical or technology limitations, and I show them even examples, and some worry about it, some they don't care about it. As I said, it should be within reasonable limits. It should not be really annoying, if you will. If it's annoying, we must do our best to get rid of it. And that's one of the downsides with Lumen, you know. So flickering will always be there on specific levels, and there are ways to get rid of it. If it's still there, if it's the client don't want it, then light bake is the way. But light bake, it takes more time, it takes more setup, it has its own different price and so on. So that's something to account for. And that's the answer I have right now about this, Sarah. So it's all about managing expectations and letting the client knows the downsides, the upsides, and the time it takes for each approach. I hope this helps. Thank you so much, Lucas. Thank you, man. Render CGI, render. I'm reading render, my bad. Just curious if anyone has used Cesium with the Google Maps model for the context yet. Thanks. Yes, I've used it in... let me show you real quick. If you remember our free course on the channel Renda, the one where we talk about creating the villas. So, sorry. This is one example. These two villas are exactly located here. So we use them for context. And I have a project that I took from my archive. It's located in Munich that I will be streaming next week, where I also use Cesium for the context of the project. And if you want to learn more, I don't know if you've seen the lesson about it, but you can go to the courses, you can go to the course here, and there is this lesson here, Cesium for Architects and World Builders, this module. There are places where I talk about how, like, some tips and tricks to geolocate your project. So enabling the plugin. I use a mix of cesium ion, so there are the eyeballing the geolocation in the lesson number 2, and I need let's say the playlist. I need to add the lesson to the course, but we have a lesson here, guys. Where is it? Aha. There is also this lesson on Autodesk Revit on how to geolocate your projects with cesium ion. And this is like for the most accurate geolocation. And I wonder if anyone else using cesium, let us know in the chat or in the comments. And I plan on expanding the template we have here for better use with cesium. My pleasure, Sarah. And Brenda, I hope I answered your question. If you have other questions, since you are a student, let us know in the community or on the WhatsApp group. All is good. I will do my best to assist. Lucas, you're learning about levels and layers with the channel now. Amazing, amazing. Layers and levels are extremely important. I always use them in every single project. Now I'm done with the release, guys. I plan on watching. I have made a list. I talked about that in a past stream where I want to watch some videos together to learn more about Unreal Engine together. So we are definitely doing that starting next week. I think it's gonna be chill. Blind 8000, hello. Hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you for joining. We're almost done with the stream, Blind, sorry, but I'm here for any questions. If you have any questions on top of your mind, it's time to send them. Lucas, you used cesium once, but it's too large file for the usage. Yeah, it depends on the project, and good thing they also stream, so you can stream data directly. Sarah. Also, when we say this high-res screenshot to clients 4K and 2K, it's not really 4K, sharpness is less. If you're using the movie render queue, it will be almost perfect, but if you are using the button here, the high-resolution screenshot, it might be different because the size of the screen here also matters. So if I do the screen like this and click on capture, it will take the screen size, as you can see here. So click on properties. This will be like a random number, 1554, 1881. So for the best results, it would be best to use the movie render queue to create still images or renders of videos or still renders, not the high resolution screenshot tool. For real-time projects, okay. Yeah, I guess I agree on this. I will look into methods for to increase the sharpness and whatnot. I think it's all about console commands or increasing the scale and decreasing the scale. It's different, and it can be a little complicated. Blind 8000. I have a question. I migrate from 5.4 to 5.7, but my config preferences aren't there. I was reading that I have to modify or copy some ini files. How do you handle this challenge? So if you've migrated from one project to another Blind 8000, what you want to do, you want to go to your project. So this is, let's say this is the project. And you want to click here on config. And here you will see some ini files or ini files. And you can copy this whole folder or you can copy specific elements. For example, we have the default editor, the default engine, and so on. So if you open this, the default engine, you will see all these settings here are the settings that you're talking about. So if you go to edit and you go to project settings, these settings here and others are saved here. So what you want to do is to click, copy, click, go to your project, go here, and paste, like so, and replace the files. Or you can simply delete the config file in your 5.7 and paste the one you have from your 5.4 project. So it's that simple. Easy peasy. I hope this answers your question. Try it and let us know, brother. Renda, so I wasn't sure if you could set a limit from a specific point to enhance performance. I used a project with Archviz Explorer template a while ago, but certain tiles would flash. Not great. I remember something, but I also don't remember. There is some sort of limit, or not limit, but a setting to maintain the tiles. Yes, the whole config folder. If you want to copy everything. Let me quickly remember, Renda, regarding the setting I am familiar with. But here if we open Cesium, learn, documentation. I can't remember where exactly. But there is something about the flashing, like how they appear and disappear. I'm not sure how it is from certain distance, but at least if you rotate the camera, there is a setting about that. I just noticed this. Wow. This makes me so happy. I'm so grateful for Cesium, guys. And I love Cesium as a technology because it was always a struggle to bring context to projects. I don't have Cesium on 5.7 now. There was a setting. I'm trying to remember that. Let me see, do I have 5.4 open? No. Oopsie, I don't have it open. It's indeed not here. No. Adding data sets, placing objects on the globe, building global materials, georeference sublevels, transitioning, photorealistic, self-ion. Build worlds, render light and render scenes. I don't think so. I will see if I can answer this question in upcoming live stream, Renda. Okay. And I always had some cesium ideas lessons on my to-do list, so maybe we should go for it. Yeah, I need to dive deeper. I'm not sure if it was a setting that I discovered on my own or if it's under their documentation on how to increase the quality. But I think it may have been in the documentation. We will see. I also talk about it in my video. Blind 8000 GBD says not to limit tiles manually and use H+ data layer streaming volumes. That can be, but I think there is some little hallucination in the GBT answer. I can't remember where I saw it exactly, but we're gonna cover it in an upcoming live stream. Okay then, guys. I'm gonna go have some lunch, breakfast technically, but it's fine. Actually, Renda, yeah, use ChatGPT to solve issues. It will definitely help. Be careful from little hallucinations, but it is what it is. It can at least nudge you through the interesting part. Now I just noticed that I have this here, but do I have cesium enabled? I don't have. Let's see real quick together before I close the live stream. Let's enable cesium together here. Don't save. As long as engine 5.4 opens quick, there should be no problems. But the problem with 5.4, it takes 10-20 minutes to open on my machine sometimes. And no, it's not opening, unfortunately. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, that's fine. Unreal Engine doesn't want to open. And that's such a weird problem I have. As I said, I need to restart my computer for it to open, but it is what it is. Okay, guys. Everything we discussed today, it has its own playlist on the Academy if you want to learn how to use the Unreal Engine template that we made. And there will be more videos in the future. I am excited to create actually a short lesson on YouTube to cover the template and how to use it. And if you have any questions, any requests, any ideas that you think will be great for architecture, let me know so we can incorporate them with AEC Interactive. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a lovely weekend. It's Friday today, so yeah. And take care of yourself. Get some rest. This is for you and for me to get some rest. Thank you, Blind. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Renda. Thank you, Lucas. And everyone who is watching but not saying anything. Imagine that I said your name, and thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, I will indeed look into this, and I have on my to-do list, as I said, I have many ideas for YouTube to create new lessons since we finished release version 1.0, and now I can have some time to get back into making videos. All right. I will see you guys soon. So have a lovely weekend. Enjoy it. And I will see you soon. I said that maybe 5 times. Let's put some music and let's get out of here. Bye bye.